Your construction company is paying you well. Revenue is coming in, your team is mostly functional, and the work is coming in. But it doesn't feel like you're building wealth. It feels more like income. There's a difference there. Wealth compounds while you sleep. Income stops when you stop working. Many construction business owners have everything they need to actually build wealth. They have the relationships, they have the cash flow, they have the understanding of extremely profitable asset classes. They just haven't tied it all together to create more revenue streams than just their operating company. There's 6 core revenue streams that many construction company owners can take advantage of. The first is their operating company. In this episode, we're going to talk about the other 5 revenue streams. At some point when a construction business owner sits back and thinks to himself, this is actually working. I have a tenured team in place. The phone generally rings. Even if we're in a flatlining or a slightly negative business cycle, we're still going to make it. In that kind of an environment, owners typically ask, oh, what's next? Because typically people who run construction companies are entrepreneurs at heart, and they like to build things, and not just buildings. They like to build businesses. It's very important for construction business owners who want to build wealth to understand that there's more ways to do this rather than just simply running their operating company. There are 6 wealth building vehicles that most well-run construction companies can take advantage of. The first is revenue they get from their operating company. The second is the increase in net worth they see if they secure land properly. The third is appreciation in rental income. The fourth is the increase in land value they will see through community growth or rezoning. The fifth is revenue that their operating company will achieve through bank finance projects. And the sixth is the tax efficiency they will see as a result of owning their own real estate. For land acquisition, it's very, very important that you don't pay too much for land, because if you do, there's a significant likelihood that it's going to come back and bite you later on. Most people, unfortunately, when they're new to real estate development, they look at the project through rose-colored glasses and they think everything's going to go perfect, and they overpay for land. The problem is when unplanned situations occur in the future, all of a sudden there's not enough cash in the pot to address those situations, and the whole project and all the partners on the project, LPs, GPs, joint ventures, whatever it is, whoever they are, all have to experience quite a significant amount of financial stress because they paid too much money for the land to begin with. So it's very important to be very conservative with your land acquisition. Underwrite the deal at conservatively 20, even 25% IRR. Make sure you stick to that number and don't overpay for that land. The thing to remember when you're buying land is there's always another bus. You might look at a project and you might think, wow, I've been looking for something like this for the last 6 months. The stars are aligned, the chips are falling in my favor. Let's execute. If things aren't lining up just the way you need, and if you are feeling compelled to pay too much for the land to put your target of 20% IRR or 25% IRR at risk, it's okay, just walk away. There's always another deal. Anytime you talk to anybody who's built up wealth, they will always tell you that. Some of the best deals that they've done are the ones that they didn't take. The third wealth vehicle is appreciation in rents. Every year in every municipality, rental income can increase. Sometimes there's rent controls in place, in many places there isn't, but the point is, income on a per door basis will continue to increase every year that passes, and this is a revenue stream. The fourth wealth vehicle is the increase in land value that you see through ownership or intentionally rezoning the property to increase its allowable density. This increase in land value will go up faster if you happen to be in a high growth, low regulation, low bureaucracy area that has low taxes and is very favorable to businesses. But typically land value does go up no matter where you are. In some areas, it'll go up more relative to others. And if you're smart about where you buy the land, you can work with the city or the municipality to get zoning changed to increase allowable density. And as soon as this happens, you will immediately see a significant bump in the land's value. Another amazing wealth vehicle is when a construction company is able to build their own projects using the bank's money through a construction loan. We know companies that have increased their annual revenue significantly, and the customer is actually the bank. They have added millions of dollars to their production pipeline through projects that they've brought to the bank and received financing for. This is a wonderful way to increase your company's revenue in a very systematic and relatively frictionless way, because you don't have customers. You are the customer, and you have a high degree of autonomy and control over each one of those projects. But you're not looking for a home run. You're looking to just get people on base. How you do that is structuring your tax strategy in an appropriate manner, taking into consideration your financial situation, where the project is located, and what your long-term goals are. In Canada and the US, it comes down to the same things: using the right entities, capturing all your costs, leveraging depreciation, and controlling when and how you exit. In the US, this is known as a 1031 exchange. The point is, you could have the same deal and two completely different outcomes depending on the tax strategy that you choose, contingent on the asset value, the location of where the project is located, and the asset class. Oftentimes we get asked, hey, I have a great operating company. I see that there's 5 other wealth building strategies. What's the next step for me? What does this look like? What's the next wealth building strategy? Our advice is to put yourself into a room with people who know what good looks like. And if you do that, and you surround yourself with people who understand what the path up the mountain looks like, you will find very quickly that you have an engine. You'll have a vehicle that is building wealth in 6 different areas. You'll be compounding your wealth while you sleep.